Al-IyamoyeTv Radio, voice of the voiceless.
Al-IyamoyeTV and radio, and let me use this opportunity to welcome you to the Politicos on Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. This is a program where we talk about things that are going on around our politics in Nigeria and even beyond. My name is Moses Okunlola. Firstly on the show, let's have the round of stories. After the stories, then we come back to discuss. We have many things to discuss on the show today. Just before I go, let me quickly recognize, recognize or welcome my guest on show today. I have two powerful people in the house with me. To my right, I have comrade Olufemi Bashorun.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's a student activist. I think he's a one-time SUG secretary of Oshuda Bella Polytechnic, and he has occupied a lot. He's a politician as well. You can see it from his smile. Also to my left, I have I can call him comrade. Or what should I call an honorable? Which adjective should I use? He's a scholar anyway. Let me welcome our Fisayomi Jibola. You're welcome on the show.
Thank you.
He's a political analyst as well.
Okay, and I'm always a comrade.
Comrade. So just let me make it formal now. Comrade Olua Fisayomi Jibola.
You can say that again.
Well, let's check the political news that we have after which we start the show. Discuss on the show today. Firstly, I want us to talk about the rearrest of the suspended civilian governor. Let me use that.
Yes, that's what how we should refer to it.
The suspended civilian governor, Godwin Emefiele. You will recall with me, sometimes in December last year, we have this similar issue talking about different allegations from financial crimes totally around him, but there's no step, we couldn't take any step there because it's still a civilian governor. I'm talking about the issue of APC, him getting a form, being a
Presidential
candidate. That also generates different issues. But let's talk properly on his rearrest. What can you say about and the allegations against him? being in possession of firearms. It's somehow to me, a civilian governor. I don't know the correlation between. I don't just know how to put it. What do you say to that, Fisayo?
Well, Godwin Emefiele, suspended CBN governor, appearing in court yesterday. I want us to see from two angles. One, the angle of the agencies, the security agencies, and also the angle of what is being tried on. His reason for appearing in court yesterday was for the possession of firearms illegal. It's not for misappropriations of Nigerian currency.
I guess that's the reason why
it's not also for maybe for
financial crimes.
Financial crimes. Or even at the point he was even accused of sponsoring terrorism.
Yes.
But he has not appeared in court for any of all this.
And people are expecting them to alleviate him with issues that is related to financial.
It will not. They will
but
not.
they are coming from different world.
Yes, that is what is called governance, politics. If the government wants to keep you in detention for 10 years, they know how to be trying you. They will try you for not using the right spoon. They will try you after you have escaped that. They will pick you again. You won't go home. Don't forget they will have granted him bail. Okay, let's take the case of Emefiele now that we're discussing. He was in court. He was granted bail of 20 million naira and a shorty in like some. Immediately, DSS picked him again. Though there was drama between DSS and the correctional center, the prison, about who should take custody of him. We all know we are in Nigeria. Everybody is fighting for their pockets. You can't put a whole Emefiele in my custody and I will be angry. So that is why they fought. It was a show of shame at the court for those security agents because all of them want to have Emefiele. Do you know how much those people who have been taking care of him since he's been in detention? Do you know how much they will have reaped? Do you know how many people will have visited Emefiele in that prison and they will have collected money for coming? Let's leave that by the side. Now, for that case, he was tried for firearms. Well, he was granted bail. Don't be surprised that the next appearance is going to be in court. He will be charged for something else. They will grant him bail. They will pick him again.
On another
On
country.
another crime. They will not allow him to serve those terms concurrently. Because the intention is to keep him for like 5 years.
And is that feasible in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, he can be there. For how long has Nnamdi Kanu been in detention? Nigeria, they know how to. It's when they shout that you react. They know how to take it one after the other. That they will keep that person in police custody or whichever custody till when they are able to finish whatever they want to do. We are so good in that in this country. And unfortunately, we put morals or sometimes sentiment in what we do. Some are even seeing those lawyers that appear for Emefiele as with all what Emefiele has done. Should a lawyer appear to defend it? That is sentiment. A lawyer must always come. As a matter of fact, the human rights activists should even be supporting Emefiele now. Why are you keeping him? Charge him. Let us know if he's guilty or not, and let him go and serve his jail time. Why? Don't forget that he was brought to the court after a lawyer said, you cannot be keeping this man in detention for no reason, and you did not try him. That was why they took him to the court. If nobody has spoken, he will still be in detention. And they will say they are quelling him, they're quelling him.
Well, let me come to Comrade Bashir. And you know, some people are saying this is the handwriting of the president of Nigeria.
Thank you.
Do you also agree with that?
Well, maybe not. I'll take this from another angle.
Okay.
The allegations that generally was expected to be leveled against Emefiele should have bordered on financial crimes, misappropriation of funds, and all of that. That was the expectation when we heard that he had been suspended and he had been arrested. The first instinct that we had was that, look, these are part of the allegations. So we didn't imagine that firearms was even going to come into the picture. And even if firearms would come into the picture, it probably would be the 10th allegation or the 20th allegation.
Not even the first.
Not even the first. And that if you be taking him to court for firearm possession illegally, should not even be your first charge. Because we just realize that, look, this man was a CBN governor. Charge him with something. And I tell you, for the allegations that we had in mind, if the DSS or the Nigerian government was going to take appropriate actions against him in court, he probably and most likely will spend more time than many of us had even envisaged. If they are taking him to court, they are sought the judge of a competent judge sitting in court, and a judgment had been pronounced. Most likely, he would even spend more time serving behind bars than what we are witnessing currently. His first day in court, he was granted bail
And rearrested.
and rearrested. Now, this issue of DSS putting one allegation forward, a person overcomes it, and then maybe you pick the person up, and then you want to bring another one. I think it does not speak well on the integrity of that organization. DSS should be an organization where Nigerians have confidence in them. We know that when DSS picks you up for this and this allegation, for DSS to have picked you up, forget it, they had carried out their investigation to a fault. They are so sure that if you are in their nest, you already know that you are in for it. But when we now start to witness what we saw yesterday, we start to have doubt as to the competence of the organization. If you would take a suspended CBN governor to court and for possession of firearms,
Not even related to anything.
and he was granted bail on his first day in court, it is to show that DSS itself didn't even prepare so well for this case.
They did. I will have the contrary that they did not prepare well.
Okay.
They did. See, the way these institutions make money differs.
Oh, so you think this borders on the money they will be making?
Yes.
Oh.
If not, they won't be fighting in court. That man has been granted bail on that count, on that child. Those who were to process his bail will continue despite being in detention.
So did you think that DSS didn't imagine in their minds that it was a two-way thing, that with that count charge of firearm possession illegally, he could get a bail? And so you think that if they would still have gone ahead and just use that one charge?
I don't smell some other
That
things
is what- that's
there.
right. See, there is an undertone to this. That bail is available. The offense
The
is
offense
available.
is
It's a
available.
terrible offense. Now they are
No.
making it look like personally, I'm even losing confidence in the DSS
not
because I wasn't seeing this as now. It is looking like a drama.
It
It
is
is
a
looking like we are
drama.
acting.
It is a drama.
It's not different from the movies we watch. You know, it's not different.
It is a
We were
drama.
expecting something concrete.
No.
I even remember back then when we had this scarcity of naira, people were so pained. And they said, look, when the time comes for this man to be punished, it was a time when, regardless of religious sentiment or tribal sentiment, people queued behind the law and said, look, this person should be punished for
That
this
is what
wrong.
people are waiting for.
And it
That was
won't
the
go-
expectation.
It won't go that way because of Nigeria. We politicize everything. We are watching drama. Just write it down and quote me. It's drama we are watching. Because somebody has raised us that you can't keep him for so long. Okay, let's look for the smallest. Was that firearms as part of the evidence in court yesterday? There was no firearms that was displayed as evidence. It's a drama we are watching. It is. That man will come to court. The DSS knows that coming to court with that offense is bailable. They know
They
that
need to cook as another
Yes,
pick him up.
they will pick him up. He will appear in court in another 1 month. They will pick him again.
And I'm thinking that will reduce our confidence as a people in that organization.
Do you still have much confidence in that organization?
Well, before now, we did. It has reduced. It keeps reducing. You don't lose it all of a sudden. It keeps reducing.
Honestly,
that's
Now,
which
the
they are
thing is,
now.
if he had been taken to court for a weighty allegation, he most likely would not get a bail, and DSS would
Even
be
on
so
his first
free
appearance.
to take him back.
The only
DSS would
allegation-
have been so, and we would not have witnessed that show of shame that we saw yesterday.
And
If
because-
the allegation was weighty, he would have been remanded. The judge most likely would have requested that he goes back to the
Yes.
custody of DSS, and there would have been no cause for DSS or officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service to have that kind of altercation that they had yesterday. It was a show of shame. Now, I imagine that what we saw yesterday people from other countries would freely see it. And this speaks volume about us as a people.
Unfortunately, we do not have those people in government who are sensitive to things like this.
We probably do. We probably do.
They choose not to talk.
Yes.
They are not, because they feel like whatever you like to say in the international world,
Just go ahead.
But to us,
and
we
this,
take every punishment personal, very personal in this country. I still believe it's politics we are playing out. This Emefiele issue. Financial misappropriation, we, electorate, Nigerians, were the one who came up with that excuse. His home was ransacked. All the videos we are seeing, some people said they were doctored. It has not been established against him a financial misappropriation crime.
You know there's one video that trend those days that
is
you can come and pick
you
can come and pick me. As Emefiele was addressing the press.
Yes.
I said that yes, they said you are looking for me.
And
And come and pick me.
I think that's an old video.
The old video.
But the thing is, when this government came into power, I personally imagined that we were going to have a shift in the status quo towards the right direction, and that when we do things now, what I expected was win and gain the confidence of the people.
Like every other Nigerian.
Before now, if we had such a case as what we do now, it most likely will be painted with the brush of religious sentiments or tribal sentiments.
Yes.
You are treating him this way because he's practicing this religion,
Or he's from this part
or
of
he's
the
from
country.
this part of the country.
Yeah.
So if he was from your own region, if you were speaking the same language, would you be treating him this way? But this time around,
This one is clearly very, very different.
see, this is one of the big cases in Nigeria where we do not have this kind of sentiment. And I imagine that the government and the DSS would have used the opportunity to nail it. You say, I have the people behind me to punish this person.
But they do
And
not
not
have
one
evidence.
region is
There
defending
is no
him.
evidence here. That's why they will not go to court with financial misappropriation.
Even in
This-
court,
this-
when you
this-
go to the
this-
story
this-
yesterday, you will see that there is no even evidence to back it up.
These are the
They-
things we are saying. This is the lacking of the DSS.
Yeah.
You don't take such a high-profile person to court without concrete evidence. No, you don't.
You see
This is a high-profile person. This is not one person selling kuli in the market. This is a high-profile person where he can afford the best lawyers in
Of
Nigeria.
course. In the world.
So if you are fighting such a person who can afford 10 sons, highest paid sons in Nigeria, 10 of them, you know that if you want to fight this person, you have to be completely prepared.
maybe we are not serious about the issue anyway. As a country.
It's what I am saying. It's one of the
That's
lackings of the DSS.
That's why I still maintain that what we are saying is just a drama. Yes, they know people are not comfortable with what Emefiele has done. Officially, documented, there is no crime, a crime that you can nail Emefiele with in isolation.
They
No.
were tied with some other.
Yes, yeah, because some people they are going to be involved because Emefiele, as a CBN governor, reports only to one person, presidency. There is no way you would drag Emefiele that you will not drag our former president. So what we are saying
This
is
should
a
be a
drama.
it should be a long movie that
Yeah,
was
it's a drama because they will be looking for what they will be nailing Emefiele with little allegations that will be bailable and be dragging him in detention. Because if they have come out to establish financial misappropriation with the details they have, it will be rolling. And because those L's that are supposed to roll are sometimes somehow even involved in the present administration, they will package it. They will be charging him theft of toothpick, theft of this, because they know they are dealing. They will be paying court, they're coming back. Paying court, people will make it and drag his detention for so long until when he will get a presidential pardon in court. Presidential pardon in the sense that they will now come. Emefiele has been sentenced to 3 years imprisonment concurrently from the day they started the case. So eventually, Emefiele will only spend 6 months in prison and go back.
Do you think it will?
I think it will be too much of a joke for it to happen that way.
Let's wait and see.
I remember vividly the case of Dasuki when the former president, President Muhammadu Buhari, came and picked him. At that time, we as citizens, many of us were not even aware that such crimes were being committed.
Yes.
So when they picked him up and started to unravel everything, was when we were waking up with shocks
Even
every
different
day.
personality were being unveiled.
And
That
so
all this,
each
all
person
this.
tied to that crime was also answering for what they did.
What about the case of Jonah Jan?
And
All
that
these people
thing.
went to prison, so-called prison. For how long did they spend in that prison?
No, let's take this one after the other, sir.
Okay.
Let's take it one after the other. At that time, the allegation hanging around Asuke was waiting. When the citizens were informed of the crimes, I want to imagine that it was probably not even everything that was told or shown to us. It was maybe just a scratch of the surface. But that scratch of the surface alone was enough for all Nigerians at that time to get angry. We stood behind the president there and said, this man must pay for this, and everybody involved, bring them to book. And heads were rolling. It is another time for such to happen.
But the attitude attached to it is quite different from that.
No, look, it is laughable. I'm telling you, it is very laughable that this is happening.
It
It is laughable because expectations were high.
Yes.
But the outcome.
I'm trying
Because
to remember.
what Emefiele made Nigerians to go through, what we went through. Some lost their lives.
Yes, some lost their sources of
In
income.
fact, immediately they
People lost,
suspect him.
people lost different
People were
things.
happy.
People were happy. I said, oh,
This man trend on social media like anything.
this is a huge failure.
On the
A
part of
huge
this.
failure.
And that
This
of
is
the
a
government.
huge failure. You have the people behind you. Nobody is screaming, he is our brother. Every region suffered what he did.
And he's on his own.
Now he's on his own to answer for what he did. Now, I am not aware of he did this. I didn't have any investigation, so I might not be aware of any allegation. But the DSS is an intelligence
Do you know they've
gathering
gone to his house to
organization
search his house?
to gather
They don't-
and then be aware of what you can use against them. Do you know that if another allegation is raised against Emefiele, it's taken to court, it most likely will not generate the interest of many Nigerians.
Sure, because
we would have seen it as a
We will
joke.
just predict that is what
We would have
happen.
seen it as a joke. And it is not supposed to happen that way. Now, if you get another high-profile person, they say DSS has arrested this person, they are going to court.
Oh,
Just
come
like
on.
that.
No, that's the way
There
it
is
is.
nothing. So you have
That's
started
how
to
we play
lose
down- that's
the
how we play
confidence.
down
They have started to
issues.
lose the confidence of the people, which is not a very good way to start.
Well, we are still on the Politicos on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Let's quickly have a short break. We'll be right back. Now, talk about some other things that has to do with Nigeria.
gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó bágbà mu. House of Zion, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion. House of Zion lówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi ta tó jiná tí wọ́n fi àwọn aka wákàtí ọjọ́ designer song. Glasses and perfumes pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ lò gbà. Mo débẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámikàmì tẹ gbòógì gbọ́npa fashion tẹ wá nílò jàlábíà hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zion lẹ́ò ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House of Zion wà ní 52 Ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta lórí Instagram 65 6818 Zion ilé ìtajà ojúlówó aṣara ló ń gbé ní gbogbo aláfẹ́ wọṣọ gbà mú. House of Zion.
Thousands have been disappointed several abroad. To those who are in the
agency. It is science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have successfully without stress help you process and secure your visa to permanent residential visa, visiting student visa to like Europe, America, Asia, Africa. It's no big Travels and Tour. Experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Like the UK, you and we offer add to our Muslim faith. Number 9, Tausaf Hotel, 0802 0806 57. Stop money, pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
Politicos and Al-IyamoyeTV and radio, where we're talking about the DSS rearresting Godwin Emefiele. Well, let's just leave there and talk about some other issues that are generating different reactions from Nigeria, and that is the increments in the PMS, the petrol that is risen from 500 plus to 617. This has generated a lot of issues, and different things have been happening since the NMPCL announced this increment. But let's talk on the one that has to do with our education sector. That is the increment in tuition fee. And I want us to relate it alongside with this issue of student loan. Firstly, let's start from this angle. Do you see the student loan being feasible in Nigeria? Let me start from you. Do you see student loan being feasible?
Yes, it is feasible. It is something that we can do. I also personally believe that at the start of a policy of this nature, something that we've never had before, it's not like we are remodifying. We are starting from the scratch.
Well, I think one government has tried it before.
If it was tried before, it was not tried on
But
these
not,
premises.
and not this process.
Yes.
Doesn't pass
So
this
now,
process.
if we see it this way as it is right now, it means that we most likely will have one or two itches here and there. It's just like a startup. When you're starting something up newly from the scratch, you have one or two itches here and there. The government has announced that it will commence with the new academic session, which is I think sometime in September. And that is when the process of disposing funds, application for it and disbursement will begin. It is feasible, like you asked, and it is. I also imagine that yes, we'll have itches here and there, which is not enough to knock that idea. It is a beautiful idea that I believe that subsequent government will modify, will work on it, and then ensure that it gets better and the process is even easier for people to
Let
obtain.
me pick it from there and that the process is easier. Consider the terms and conditions attached to this law? That is where I have issues. The terms and conditions. Payment of the person should be earning 500,000 naira per annum, I think. Yeah. After 2 years, you'll be paying after the completion of NYC, then you'll be paying back the money. What guarantees you a job in Nigeria, even as a fresh graduate?
The idea of student loan is not new in Nigeria. It was done sometimes in 1972 to 79 during the regime of General Yakubu Gowon. Student loan is like every other developed country. It's operating. It's in operation, and if it is executed with good intention, something that students will always benefit from.
Yes.
Now, the issue I have with the one introduced by this administration is that we don't learn lesson from whatever we have tried previously. I think this government should be coming in with what has been practiced in Nigeria before, which is that idea that Yakubu Gowon has done. Yes, we are not as much as how we are now when it was tried, and it was a success. How was it tried? The Yakubu Gowon's idea of student loan is that it included tuition fee and some other accreditation fee. How do you do it? If you get into admission into Unilag, for instance, you come with your admission letter. This bank that is saddled with the responsibility knows that this is the XYZ amount that will be paid. So they won't give it to you. What would they do? They credit the school directly under your accounts. They know that as Fisayo, who has secured admission with Unilag, is going to pay 1,000 naira for tuition fee, is going to pay 200 naira for hostel and some other. Now, they will now give you a bonus. The bonus per semester might be 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira, and that is what you will have as student. It's part of your loan. Now, what would they do? For 4 or 5 years that you will be in that institution, they will be responsible for all that upkeep. By the time you are out of school, the first place you will work after service is their establishment, government establishment. They will get you a job. It's from that job that they will get all the money invested on you from, which stipulated then it was 5 years. After 5 years, you pay the money, then you can choose to retain the job or look for a better job. Now, let's fast forward to 2023. We want to replicate something that has been done over 40 years ago. Shouldn't you be coming with something better, with improvement? Unfortunately, no. We are giving conditions of the parents should be so level, the parents must be earning so. The way you are doing it, yes.
Level 12 officer.
To go and sign. The way you are doing it, we are making it sound as if everybody, every child that would be eligible to get that loan, the parent must belong to civil service or paid employment. There are some of us who don't work in the paid environment. What we are doing is not salary. Now, there are some people that their money does not pass through banks. It's minute out of the money that goes through bank. There are some jobs that when you want to do it, whoever is giving you that service is giving you cash. So if you are not using salary, if you want to use what the person saves, the person does, because the person is living from hand to mouth. Those cash that he earns does not pass through bank. Now, what you are even responsible for in this your new student loan is just tuition fee. Please, how much is what percentage is tuition fee from what a student spent in a semester? Hostel is not there. So the person you pay tuition fee for, he will not live in anywhere. The person will not eat. The person will be. How will the person live after paying the tuition fee? So those are some of the issues I have with the student loan that they are trying out now. And those who will be eligible, who are qualified to go for that loan, can the child of a woman, an artisan, a woman that sells on the streets of Lagos, or that of Abeokuta, who makes less than the so-called 500,000 naira, can that person approach the bank for such a loan?
Even the person is not using the bank.
I think that we should also look at it from a different angle.
Okay.
Like I said, there will be itches here and there, and that subsequently we will work
That
on
has
these things
been an
and get
excuse
it
of
right.
no. That
Now,
has
sir,
been the excuse
sir,
of Nigeria.
you raised certain issues. One of which is the fact that when a person graduates, then 5 years after upon graduation and all of that. And my brother here also said that getting a job wasn't
In Nigeria.
so assured just after the completion